welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking to you about car seats. I feel like this topic can be a bit controversial. I actually think that the whole rear facing, forward facing debate is almost as controversial as like the breastfeeding, formula feeding debate that always happens, because at least whenever I've seen posts about either two, they've just gotten so heated, and it's just, yeah. So all I want to say is a little disclaimer is, firstly, I'm no expert. Secondly, this is just my preference, our family's preference based on our research. I wanted to put a video out there of information, but you know, whatever is right for your family, whatever's right for you, I would never judge. Yeah, just do what is right for you. As I always say, motherhood's hard enough without all these extra judgments. So, but this is just an informative video on our choice and why, and the research of why we think rear facing is safe and why we choose to rear face. So yeah. So both my children are in rear facing car seats in my car, and that includes my nearly 4-year-old and my 14-month-old. Now, when we had Sebastian, who's our eldest, we did loads of research on it and stuff, but to be honest, he was so small that he was in his stage and group 0 car seat, his little, like the Maxi Cozy Cabrio Fix, until he was 18 months old. He was so small, I never had to even worry about it for ages. And then as he grew out of that, we then chose the Hawk VarioGuard, which is an ISOFIX base, i-size car seat that rear faces until 4. Something happened where I think we were fed up of switching the car seats over, so we got a spare off a friend. It was a Maxi Cozy Priory, and it's a really safe car seat that forward faces only, but it was fine. And for somehow it ended up in my car, and then the other one ended up in Chris's car, and we were forward facing in my car. I figured we're only making small journeys here and there, not very often. It didn't matter, so the likelihood of collision wasn't going to be so high. It would be fine. Then a friend of mine who has a child the same age, had a collision, and her child was pretty much saved because he was in a rear facing car seat. And she wrote a blog about this, and I'll leave that all down below. So alongside that, there were other stories that I was reading. I started to read a bit more into it. So a while ago, moto.co.uk launched a massive campaign to try to increase awareness to retailers, to encourage them to start selling more affordable rear-facing car seats. And not long after that, a study was taken, and it showed that 75% of children under the age of 2 were less likely to be killed or injured should they be in a collision if they were rear facing. So what happens is, it's really horrible. What happens is because your child's, the neck hasn't fully developed there, the bones are not very strong, because of the type of collision and the type of impact that they have, it jolts their neck to such a way that it causes, this is horrible, internal decapitation. After reading that, I was like, right, it's got to change. So I gave the other car seat to my mum and dad as like a spare. We basically just used the one car seat and just switched it from car to car if we needed it. It just really reassured me then. In Sweden, it's completely normal for children up until the age of 4. I think it's the law actually in Sweden to rear face up until the age of 4. Figures are incredibly low. Now the figures are actually quite low in the UK, but only up until the age of 1, which is really interesting because up to the age of 1, they're only really in a group 0 car seat. Again, there's this debate as to what happens to their legs. Now I'll try and get some footage of Sebastian in his car seat that he's in now, and he is in a Britax 2-way car seat, and we were really kind of gifted this by a friend. We were actually looking for car seats at the time, and we were gifted this. She was going to a new car seat for her child, didn't want to kind of get rid of it, and decided, you know, asked us if we wanted it, and we were so happy to receive it because it was extended rear facing until the age of 6. It is of course by Britax, which are a really awesome brand, and it's the Britax 2-way, I think it is. You can find it on the European car seat websites, and I'll leave those down below. So the European car seat websites are really good because they kind of cater for much bigger car seats for bigger children to keep them rear facing, and that's kind of what this one is like. And a lot of people think Sebastian's legs are really crushed, like what happens to their legs, what do they do, are they not all cooped up? And Sebastian is fine. He either crosses his legs or he keeps them kind of dangling down the side. He's never ever once complained about his legs at all. Like your car seat?
Yeah.
And what about your legs? You happy to cross your legs?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just never moaned about it. And there's a bit of a famous saying in the car seat community that I've seen flying around, and a lot of people will say, break a leg, cast it, break your neck, casket. Is kind of that. It's a bit horrible, but that's that always sticks in my mind, and I just think until he moans about it, until it's so bad, then I'll turn him, but he doesn't need to be turned right now. So, and as I said, the car seat is made for children up to the age of 6 approximately. So that will be the car seat that Albert will go in, and then Sebastian will then go in Albert's car seat. Now Albert, you're probably wondering, how will he go in Albert's car seat? So Albert has, we've just bought him, and I'll do a review on this afterwards, Joy Every Stage. It's such a great car seat. There is an ISOFIX option and a seatbelt option, and I'll talk about ISOFIX in a minute, but there's an option for both. We went with the seatbelt option for the ease of putting it in 2 different cars. And this car seat can be extended rear facing up to the age of 4 or 18 kilograms. But you could also forward face it. If you were preferring to forward face your child earlier on, you can forward face it, I think from 9 kilos to 18, I'm not sure. And then it changes to high back booster. And then, it basically grows with your child up until the age of 12. So I'll change that car seat over then, and Sebastian will have it, and Albert will go in Sebastian's current car seat. And then when the time comes that I need to change, I'll probably get another Joy Stages Every Stage, because it's just such a good car seat. And I picked this car seat up for £160 at Mothercare, I think it is, or that's round about the price range. I did price match it, so it's definitely worth looking at. It's such an affordable price. Let's talk about prices again. Some car seats can be really costly, along with a few other brands that I've seen. They charge quite a lot extra for the ISOFIX base, which I will talk about, but that is an additional cost, plus the car seat itself is very expensive. So I hear a lot of people saying that they can't afford an expensive i-size car seat, especially if it only goes up to the age of 4, which is why I like the Joy Stages, because it is one that you need forever, for your whole car seat time. It can be really a big barrier for a lot of people. And I think on the other side, you could argue, I've seen people with really expensive prams with bugaboos and eye candies, and yet they're not willing to pay the price for an like they're willing to pay for a £1,000 pram, they're not quite willing to pay for an expensive car seat. And I've never really understood that, but nevertheless they can be quite costly. I think now they're starting to bring out much more affordable ones, and the Joy Stages, Joy is starting to bring out some really, really good ones. I know that they were part of the campaign, and that's awesome. So definitely look at that brand, look at other brands that are out there. There are affordable options out there to keep them rear facing. And whilst you should probably be mindful of second-hand car seats, you can pick them up second-hand. If you do pick them up second-hand, you must make sure that they have not been in a collision. So it's whether you trust that, I don't know. Or if you know somebody that is getting rid of a rear-facing car seat, mention it to them. You know, you maybe be able to get it at a much more affordable price. So going back to the ISOFIX situation, I always thought that ISOFIX was safer than seatbelt when it came out. So yeah, I always thought that, and actually it's not. It's no less safer than a seatbelt. It's just more of an advantage. So if it's much easier for car seat to come in and out of the car if you've got a group 1, which it definitely is an advantage, and it's easier to install, whereas a lot of parents were installing the seatbelts wrong, which of course is quite dangerous. So as long as you make sure you install the seatbelt one right, it's no more safer than an ISOFIX. Now I will talk about a review of the Joy Stages. Because of the way the seatbelt comes out, you do have a seatbelt kind of in the way of getting a child in. But I just push this down or unclip it, put the child in and clip it back. For me, it's not any more hassle really. It's for the price and for everything, it's worth it. So I'll go on and do a review about that later. But that's just a little overview as to why we exclusively rear face. I'll leave a load of links down below and information and some videos as well. There's a really good video, it's like a minute long. I'll leave that as the first link that shows you in visual terms why it's safer. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I'm a mum to 2 boys. I will see you guys soon. Bye.